Jasmine, born in 2006 in a coastal village in Masbate, Philippines, grew up in a close-knit community where her mother was deeply concerned about the risk of sexual violence. From as early as age 3, Jasmine's mother feared her daughters might be harmed, and by the time she was 13, her mother had imposed strict rules to keep her safe, such as banning her from going to the beach or walking alone. Jasmine noticed that these restrictions didn't apply to boys, who were able to retain their freedom, and she began to feel frustrated by the gendered nature of protection. Her mother believed that girls had to protect themselves because they had something to lose, and warned that disobedience would lead to bad things. This belief shaped Jasmine's thinking, and by the time she was 15, she viewed boys as naturally aggressive and began avoiding spaces where boys were gathered. She also believed that girls should dress modestly to avoid provoking violence, and felt that girls should make their own decisions because they couldn't protect themselves. Instead, she thought parents should decide for them, while boys could enjoy more autonomy. Over time, Jasmine's world became smaller. She stopped participating in community activities like joining a church singing group because she feared leaving the house. Her internalization of her mother's fears and the broader social norms around shame and blame led her to believe that male violence was inevitable, and that girls were responsible for preventing it. This mindset not only limited her physical freedom, but also her confidence in her own judgment and potential. Jasmine's story illustrates how fear of gender-based violence and restrictive social norms can deeply shape girls' beliefs and behaviors. By internalizing her mother's fears, Jasmine came to see male violence as unavoidable and believed that girls must self-restrict to stay safe. These attitudes risk limiting her future opportunities, autonomy, and belief in gender equality, reinforcing the cycle of disempowerment.
Gabriela grew up in Córdoba, Brazil, a city marked by high levels of crime, gang violence, and insecurity. Her mother kept her children close, especially fearing sexual abuse. Gabriela wasn't allowed to walk to school alone due to the threat of irresponsible boys. However, unlike most caregivers in the real choices, real life study, her mother believed that girls should not bear the burden of protecting themselves. She instead that society as a whole was responsible for girls' safety and consistently advocating for gender equality in education, inheritance, and domestic roles. Gabriela absorbed both the risks around her and her mother's progress values. At 15, she acknowledged that men often were to abuse girls and saw male violence as common. Yet, she also believed that the community, not girls, should be responsible for protection. Her mother's refusal to blame girls for the violence they faced had a strong influence on Gabriela's thinking and sense of justice. By 18, Gabriela had become more outspoken. She rejected the idea that boys are naturally violent, saying they are taught to be the way. She pushed back against victim blaming. Gabriela demanded for equal rights and opportunities, asserting that girls should be able to do anything boys can. She was determined to attend university and build a future on her own terms. Gabriela's story shows how strong maternal support and progress beliefs can empower girls to challenge harmful gender norms. Rather than internalizing fear, Gabriela became a vocal advocate for equality and accountability. Her journey demonstrates that with the right support, girls can resist restrictive norms and envision a more just and and equal future for themselves and others.